Welcome to another episode of the 0 Hours Vlogs and Podcast. Today, the election is officially a week away. The election day, I should say. We probably will not know the results of that for months, but who knows? It might be less dramatic than we think, we hope. Anyway, but I kind of need a brain break from the all election stuff and the COVID stuff, and I mean, it's just sometimes you just got to not think about that stuff. So today I'm going to do a general podcast about 3 things that I feel should be most important in our lives, other than the main topics always save our children. I mean, Ohio's been good this week. We've gotten some children free and stuff, but I'm just talking a generalization of life here. And it's not a topic. It's 3 things I think should be most important, which is love, health, and time. So when I look at the 3 that I pick, and 4th, way out in the boundary is a lot of people would put in the top 3 is wealth, but I don't. I mean, I used to, and I just don't anymore. There's a lot of other things you could throw in there in your personal top 3 are artistry or freedom of expression, and man, those are my 3 things. So I'll hit one on each one, just a few minutes. This will be a short podcast today, and I want to hit on them all. Number 1 is love. That's one of the top 3. It's important. If we didn't have love today, what in the world would be going on? I mean, it'd be twice as bad as what it is. If everybody just hated everybody and we got enough of that division and that stuff going on the way it is. But, to have a loved one and have loved ones around you makes everything easier to accept and deal with. And I feel more sorry for people, and there's thousands and probably hundreds of thousands of people who spend every day alone in complete loneliness and nobody to turn to, nobody to talk to. And that's a tragedy. And that in itself is a tragedy. And it leads to suicide. It leads to depression. And love is just, between 2 people is great. It's one of the greatest things ever. But just your friends, your family, even your pets. Like today I have my shirt on, Freedom, Love, and Pug, out of respect for my Sambo. And, I love all my pets. My 2 cats and my dog. And I genuinely feel love for them. And I feel love, of course, for my wife, my great kids, all my family, even though I don't see too many of my family, as much. Still got love for them 100%. And there's other objects or things you can love. I mean, I love music. Probably one of the higher things is music. I love watching sports. I can't, not this year so much. It's just, with all this other crap, but I still love my teams, and even if they're on the back burner for 2020, I'm sure they'll resurface because it can't stay like this forever. I mean, I'm hoping to God anyway that it doesn't. And I love a lot of things. But, a lot of songs you hear people band, love's all you need, or love is a splendid thing, or something. And it's true. I mean, love's very important. And, I'm glad that I have love and I can share my love with people and my family and my wife and my kids and the pets. And I feel blessed to be here at this time, That gets me on to now subject number 2 is your health. And, when I said I didn't want to speak of COVID today, and it wasn't because I disregard it, I don't want to specify that. I'm talking generalized health, your health in your life. And I'm getting older. When I was younger, health really was like a back burner issue. Didn't think about it much. Now that I'm older, and I go to bed at night, and I stated in the past that I've had these anxiety issues that I'd never had before. I didn't have them until I hit my 50s. I had maybe mildly in the 40s and 30s, whatever, but I just didn't notice it, didn't take note of it as much. And now that I'm older, the health creeps in, especially when I go to bed at night. It's like for some reason it's nighttime anxiety I get. Just thinking about dying and ways you could die. If your heart kind of skips a beat and wake yourself up in the middle of the night, you think you're dying. And at least I do. And it's very weird, that I started getting this a year or so ago, and it's not always easy to deal with, but you got to push through, and you can't over dwell on it too much, and it becomes a problem, and you don't really want to have that kind of a problem every day of your life. You want to try to deal with stuff the best you can and move on. But as a general rule of health, I always try to do slight things. I'm an obese guy, as you can obviously tell if you're watching the vlog anyway. If podcast, maybe not, but I've always stayed in pretty good health, though. My immune system's been good. I've had some arthritis issues the last decade or so. Real bad, where I've had to have a hip replacement, and I recently had knee surgery that had torn meniscus and sprained MCL and tore in something else, and they fixed what they could, and they scraped some arthritis out of it, but majority of my arthritis is behind my kneecap at this point. So like my uncomfortable limp, it'll probably always be there to an extent. I'll have good days and bad days from what the doctor told me, and the only play to really fix that is a knee replacement. I don't want to do that. If I absolutely have to, if the pain becomes too much, sure, I would. But, just this general health, I've always done pretty good. I've always been not sick much. When I get sick, it was like every weather change I would get sick. Allergies like I am now, it's like it's getting colder, and I got some allergies going on, and don't really cough or nothing. I just sneeze a lot, and my itches a lot, up in your nose, and the dry skin starting because of the heat. When you're running heat in your house for the first time, I get a sensitive skin with that. But overall general health, I've been pretty fortunate. When I look around at other people, and when I'm bitching about hobbling on my leg, or when the weather changes, it gets cold and damp, my hip starts really throbbing, the muscles around my hip from the titanium hip, and I bitch and I piss and I moan, and I get tired of this shit. Right before I had my knee surgery was terrible. The walk into where I work was like a half a mile, maybe, or a mile, something like that, and it was brutal. It was just like, oh man, and I walk a lot at my job, and then it's like stairs, and I got to be pretty uncomfortable, and I bitched and pissed and moaned a lot about it. And then I take a look at some of the people I've known and the people I do know that are my age, some are younger, and the hands they've been dealt, with some of this stuff. I shouldn't be bitching and complaining at all. Some arthritis. I had carpal tunnel last year, had a surgery on that, but I have some little carpal tunnel, some arthritis, and a little bit of a limp for being 52 years old, as big as I am, and stuff I've done to my body, just not taking care of it physically wise, and just being big, doesn't help. Arthritis is arthritis. You really can't do much about that. And it's in my family, I've known that it's genetic possibility, but so is diabetes, and I have yet to knock on wood, yet to have any kind of diabetes or pre-diabetes. Heart failure's in my history, and other than having a murmur as a kid and a loud, slow beat, that was worrisome for me when they come back with my EKG I had last year, and they said, well, your heartbeat's awful slow and it's kind of thunderous, and You know, we're going to have to maybe take a look at that. And then they went back to 2012, and I had my hip replaced, checked the EKG from that, and it was the exact same. So no worse, no wear there, you know. No blood pressure issues, nothing like that. So in my health status, I'm uncomfortably pissy, but I can't complain. I mean, guys I went to school with have died from heart failure. They've died from, you know, had complications from diabetes and had stuff amputated, and just, you know, a lot of friends that didn't make it. You know, cancer got one. You know, a couple of them, and I've been fortunate. So I piss and moan. Yeah, I'm gonna keep pissing and moaning because it's my pissing and moaning nature, I guess. But at the end of the day, my health, I cannot say, has been problematic. And I'm blessed to be able to say that because a lot of people can't. And I gotta be thankful for that. So I come down to the last of my little 3 subjects today, and the word time. So to me, it's the most important thing. I mean, yeah, you can be unhealthy, you can be in a bad way, whether it be a wheelchair or just, you know, always have to watch what you're eating, or dialysis and all this stuff. You can still do that, but you still exist here. You're still here. And you can, you know, be able to share in the love. The other one of my big 3, share in the love, and you've got time to spend it with the people you do love. So time to me supersedes all those. A little clip here is like, okay, I'm just going to have a few lines I'm going to say, and then I'll explain it. So, time is the bringer of misery, slowly fading away. It's surely killing me. You know, it's wasting away. Okay? That's a song I wrote way back in the 90s. That's one of the lines from a song called Time that Ryneck originally did, and Laughing Cattle, we adopted it because, you know, there's a couple of us guys in Ryneck. So he goes back a ways from me. It goes in the mid-90s or early 90s, like 92. It's still pretty relevant 28 years later. I mean, and when I say time is the bringer of misery, it's because some people, the time just seems that they want it to end. Or they have something they go through and it's like an hour of excruciating pain. It's like, oh my God, please end this. You know, just let my time be up. And not complete time up, but for that procedure or whatnot. So it can be a bringer of misery for sure. And then, you know, it's slowly fading away. Every day we exist. Every breath we take. Every time I say a word here, it's slowly fading away. You know, and it's like it's so precious to have, and every second ticks by. You know, just as you're listening, even if you're listening to this or watch, you know, another second of your life is going away. It is ticking away because we all die eventually. Unfortunately, we haven't cryogenically figured out how to stay alive by freezing our bodies or freezing our head or whatever. The idea back, you know, the early Simpsons episodes or even American Dad, where you could get in the goo and stay, you know, alive forever. But or a good old Outlander or Highlander or whatever that show was. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to be immortal, I guess, if everything was good with you. And some people would say, I don't want to live forever, you know. I don't want to live to, a lot of people say, I don't want to live to be 90 and walking all crippled up. And, you know, me, I'm going to stay as long as I can stay. If I happen to be 102 and have to walk with a walker, can walk about 5 feet and have to sit back down, hey, I'm alive. I can still be loved. You know, we'll see my great grandkids by then, hopefully. Watch TV, whatever I want to do. I'm still here. And, you know, that's the figment of time. But it goes to the third line, you know, surely killing me. Because we're all dying a little every day. And sometimes that works in your advantage. Sometimes it works as a disadvantage, because if you think about, okay, I'm going to die someday. Why do why put any time into, why go for a 2 hour walk every day? Pointless. It's wasting my time. But it's also a waste of your time to sit in front of the TV and watch 2 hours worth of TV. So it's how you choose to manage your time. Me, I've been bad, with especially the surgery. I watch a lot of TV, and it's like, but yeah, I like to get out and walk when my legs feeling better. I'd love to get out and walk, because walking with my headphones on, hey, that's a half hour, 45 minutes, or whatever I did a day. Serenityville for me. Music is a big passion of mine, and I love music. And I can slap the headphones on and just go walk and look around the beautiful sky and the trees, and just close the world up for a little bit. Is that good or bad? Some people it's a waste of time. Some people like me, it's euphoria. It's just something we like to do. But it is surely killing us all, and it will, because that's what time does. It stops for no one. It stops for nothing. It's the machine that never breaks down. It's not going away. And we have to learn to accept that, I guess, to be happy. And to move forward with our projects. And it's like I get caught up in my own misjudgment sometimes, of saying, oh, time's dwindling. I got to get on. I want to get all this stuff done before I'm done with time. Before I'm out of time. But I don't do it. I'm procrastinate, or I just laziness, whatever. I mean, sometimes I'm just lazy. Sometimes I'm full of energy, but I'm doing ridiculous stuff. I spend hours and hours and hours writing songs over the course of my life. I don't know how many hours. If I was to put it all together, how many hours I spent working just on songs. And, when you got hundreds of them, and about a quarter of them I've actually had turned into songs. I still got them laying around somewhere in a notebook. That was time off my allotted time that God only knows. He's the one that knows how much time I have. And TikTok, every time I'm sitting there trying to write these words to a song. But you know what? When it's your passion, it doesn't seem like it's a waste of time. Anything you do in your passion, it seems like the right thing to be doing, because that's what you love to do. And it's what drives you sometimes. And, going to work is a pathetic waste of time, man. But, to earn money, to earn a living, and to have things, to be able to eat, feed your family, and pay your car insurance and car, have a roof over your head, it's time you have to spend. And most of us spend at least half or a third of our day. I mean, more than a third, because you got to get ready to go to work, you got to drive to work, you got to, get out of work. Well, you're not going to get out right on time, but by the time you're in the traffic jam or whatever, and you get home, basically you spend, for me, a normal day would be like 11 hours. From the time I got up and got ready to go to work, maybe 12, even 12, close to 12. So half my time spent at work. That's why I think I drive so hard to be retired at 55, because, then I would have spent 37 years of my life going to work every day, and most every day anyway, a lot of, normal work. But 12 hours a day, basically. And that's the people that don't work 12 hours. Some people work 12-hour shifts. Of course, they get days off, but it equals out to about 12 hours. They get more than 12 hours on a work day. By the time they got to get up, get ready to go, it's like, spend a big chunk of our time at work and dealing with work. Some people are blessed to be able to do a job that is what their passion is. I envy those people. I envy anybody that can work doing what they love to do, regardless of what money they make. That's the wealth factor. You can be completely happy if you're working for yourself and you make $30,000 a year, and you can live within your means with that. You're my hero, because you've accomplished what I always wish I could have accomplished. and doing what you want to do and making a living at it. You know, I always had to work jobs. It's just jobs. It's never been a passion to career that I was in. There's jobs I've liked, some jobs I haven't liked. There's some jobs, particular jobs in where I work now that I like more than others. You know, it's just what fuels you, what drives you. But you know, the times it's killing us all because you know every time you go to work for 9-10 hours, it's taking a little bit of your. It takes time off your clock, wears your body down a little bit, hurts your soul a little bit. To me, sometimes it plays mind games, it gives you the old mind fucking. Sometimes stress, it can cause your number time ticking down a little low because stress is going to kill you. You know. And you know another line you could say would be surely wasting away. And it is. I mean, no matter what we do, like I said, it doesn't stop. It's wasting away. Even if we're doing something we love, it's still, you can't cram it all in. If I want to sit on my deck at my little river spot and spend 14 hours drinking on a Saturday, just drinking beer, listening to music, I'm ticking away. It's surely fading away. It's killing me, and it's wasting away all at the same time. And you know that it's not bringing me misery. That's about the only part of the song that it doesn't do, but it's bringing me joy. You know, and time can do that. It brings great joy. And there's days where you just want it to end so bad you can't. You're having the worst day, and you just like, I just want to go home, go to bed, forget about the day ever happened. And there's other days where you say, you know, are you serious? This day has to end. This has been fantastic. Fantastic. A lot of times when involved with that was music. You know, we play an hour show or whatever, and you're just having a blast. I mean, you're having a complete blast, and your time's up, and the set's over. Like, damn, man, I could have played for another 2 hours. I was just having so much fun. But there again, time's up. And time's going to be up, you know, for everybody at some point. But, you know, with life in general, everything comes to an end. I mean, time has to stop for everything. Not stop but for everybody. And eventually it ends. You can't go without sleep. You know, if you wanted to play Mario Brothers old school and you're gonna play as long as you can, yeah, you could probably drink enough Monsters or Red Bulls or whatever your choice is to play for 70 hours, but eventually it's gonna end, and you're gonna have to go to sleep, and there you go. So that was, you know, it's just a little tidbit of mine. I mean, and you know, with all this stuff going on, the election and the COVID, you know, scare and all this stuff, that people are scared to death, you know, of a lot of things. They're scared that Biden's going to be the president. They're scared that Trump's going to remain the president. They're scared that they're going to get COVID, or their mom or dad or grandma or grandpa's going to get COVID, and it's going to kill them. And you know, we got to think of the time we have. We have precious time here, and I'm as guilty as everybody else, but you know, when I sit down and really think about it, you know, time's an amazing factor, because if you're wasting it all, worried about dumb shit, and worried about stuff that you can't control, and stressing out over it, and it makes your time here less well spent. You know, time well spent is a great thing. Time completely pushed out. And I'm not going to dog anybody, because I have the same mental problems. You know, I have anxiety, and I have not really depression. I don't really have depression anymore. I did, not very much, but for a short time I did. But I have a lot of anxiety, and like I said, I think about bad things, especially, I don't know why, when I goes to bed, but that's what it is. And you know, I wish I could stop some of that and enjoy the time I have and try to be a happy-go-lucky person. I've ran into a few of those in my lifetime, you know, that nothing seems to bother them. and they're just, oh, it'll be all right, everything will be good, everything will be okay, and you don't see them get angry much. They don't get as involved in the bullshit that a lot of us seem to be into, myself included. But that is my little spiel for today. I told you it'd be a short one. It's just use your time wisely. Try to do what makes you happy. Try to do what makes you thrive. What makes you a better person or feel like a better person. If anything that you had wanted to try, do it. Because it's like, live like you were dying. And I know I've mentioned this in the past. I was singing the song around the house the other day for some odd reason. Wife said, "Since when do you listen to Tim McGraw?" And it's like, well, since I listened, I really thought about his lyrics. It made sense. Skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing, 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And it's like, do what you wanted to do before time runs out on you. You don't want to be laying in a bad situation, minutes away from death, and think, man, I wanted to do so much and I did so little. And, me, I'm not a thrill seeker, so I'm not going to ride a bull named Fu Manchu anytime soon. But I do have stuff I want to do. And, and I'm getting some free time now, and hopefully I can arrange my schedule, get out of this routine, because I've always been in a routine about everything I do. And sometimes I think that limits me. I think I got to be somewhere at this time. I got to do this at this time. Clock watching all the time. I'm trying to eradicate that. That's my goal for 2021. My New Year's resolution will be eradicate the routine. And I'm hoping I can hold myself to it and enjoy the stuff we call time. The precious bits of it that we have. And I wish all of us can do that. And a lot of BS coming up, and I'm sure I'll have some election podcast and some other, depending on the way it goes, it might be angry podcast or happy podcast, or I might get discouraged and just say I'm not going to talk about any of that shit anymore. I'm just going to go my personal journal-like thing and call it this. But anyway, enjoy the time you have, and enjoy it in any way you can with whoever you want to. Do your best to keep that time rolling. Stay out of trouble. Try to stay unsick. Try to stay healthy. And just enjoy your family, your friends, and time we have on this planet. So, till next time, always trust and believe in your convictions, and stay safe out there. We'll see ya.